a sec.
What? Hello, everyone, and welcome to event number 2 of the DMC charity stream. Hope you all enjoyed Mills and the lads playing Call of Duty. I believe one of the DMC games, I don't know, and Rising. Snow, welcome. Hello, this is Major Zero. Welcome everyone
in the chat.
Welcome everyone to Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. We're going to be doing some VE today. Your runner today is Major Zero, and on comms we have Apache Smash. Apache, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Apache Smash. I play Metal Gear Solid 3 a lot.
Awesome. Just 1 second here. All right, let's get going. Let's not waste any time.
Yeah, we've been to the future with Raiden, and now we're going to go to the past. Good luck, dude.
Thank you, man.
After the end of World War II,
So the category we're running today is very easy.
East and West.
Sounds easy, but rest assured it is in fact very extreme. There is a very high skill ceiling to this category. It is definitely not a free thing.
Major was hanging around in European Extreme, getting some times, and I tempted him with the dark side that is very easy. So Major started on Euro, I started on very easy, and I was really interested immediately with how much time you can save in this game when you literally get everything. So in the very easy category, you get something called the Easy Gun, which gives you 8% camo index all times. Which is super useful, but it also knocks out guards in one hit as well. A big proponent of this run is being able to move through the rooms, not get alerts where they'll block you from progressing, and also being able to do all the bosses exceptionally fast. Between me and Major Zero, we found a time save for every single boss in the game, even including the Sorrow, which isn't even a boss. So you'll see some like strats that just aren't possible in any other difficulty in this run. So we're going to start out in the Virtuous mission and rescue Sokolov, hopefully. It's a little bit dangerous, this room. If you get kicked by the crocodiles, or tail swiped, I guess, into the mud, it'll kill you instantly. But if we run over the middle part of the crocodile, we tend to be okay for that. We're also playing on the HD collection on the PlayStation 3. So this game, when it was first released on the PlayStation 2, was pretty laggy, and when it was re-released on the HD collection, it's just a little bit laggy, I'd say.
Until you get to Groznygrad, and then it's just gone.
Yeah, so we will do things during the game as well to keep the frame rate as high as possible, because the frame rate, when it's low, it does slow you down. And you'll see a lot of that towards the end of the game, and a little bit early on. So this is one of my favourite rooms in the whole game, with the bridge that moves. There is actually a little trick you can do when you roll off that hill. If you roll in the right position, when Snake hits the ground, he'll begin the running animation straight away, but it's really precise. Call it a frame 1 roll. So he'll go for that both times. He'll go for that when we come back through here in Snake Eater as well. And we are doing New Game Plus. The difference between New Game and New Game Plus, for very easy, is the last boss will take 9 seconds less, because when you get a non-lethal victory on bosses, they drop camos. The last boss in the game drops a camo on the floor, and the game gives you time to pick it up. But because we already have that camo and we're playing on New Game Plus, we save exactly 9 seconds from that. Unless you make a New Game Plus save when you haven't picked up the camo, which Major did recently. You also get a Patriot as well, which makes some strategies easier but not faster, so we won't actually use it. The Patriot's an unlimited ammo machine gun, but we've completely eliminated it. When the Before we both got involved in this run, people were essentially just copying the European extreme strats and doing them on a lower difficulty, which is a good place to start. But we knew the run could be a lot faster, and over time we've just eliminated pretty much everything from it, like as many menus as possible. We never want to go into the backpack in Metal Gear Solid 3. When you pick up a new weapon that you haven't seen before, for example, the AK-47, you have to go into the pause menu and put it into your inventory. Just opening and closing the pause menu takes about 5-6 seconds. So wherever possible, we've eliminated every instance of menu that we can. The cure menu is the same on all difficulties. We do have a little trick to get the last two cuts together, so they're a little bit faster. But nice menu in there, Major. That menu's can be a little bit tricky at times because it doesn't let you go as fast as you want to go. It's not like one-to-one on inputs. Sometimes you'll hit right, and if you do it too quickly, it'll just eat your input. So being fast at that menu is about doing it as correctly as possible, not just mashing the inputs. So we're going to see our overpowered weapon for the first time here. During this cutscene, on every difficulty, the boss will meet Snake, and she'll disarm him, and you lose your handgun, and you have to do this next room without a gun. But because we're on VE, we still have the easy gun. It's just put into your inventory at the start on this difficulty, so we don't have to worry too much about this room. So this room, compared to any other difficulty, is already just a lot faster. Our first boss in the run is the Ocelot unit as well that we're heading towards, and I think it's the first real instance of like big RNG in the run. If you're going for an exceptional time in this category, there's a little bit of luck involved, I guess, and it has to go absolutely perfectly to get a decent time on it. But Major's a master of the Ocelot unit. I'm sure he won't make a single mistake.
Definitely, I never make mistakes.
So this guard here, because we have the 80% camo from the easy gun, as long as you take a line right by the tree, the guard can't actually see you at all. If you don't have that easy gun equipped, obviously he'll notice you straight away. And we'll abuse that as much as possible during the run to get a good time. The other thing it does is, underneath Snake's health bar, there's a stamina bar. And over the course of the game, as you do different actions, climb up things, move around, roll, etc., that drains your stamina. But the easy gun replenishes it. And that gives us a massive time save in this run, because there's a section where you go through the water and you get a leech attached to you. But as long as the leech will drain your stamina constantly and you have to remove it. We skip removing it and we just manage our easy gun to avoid that menu. It saves like 8 seconds. So this is the first boss, the Ocelot unit. The game will re-equip our pistol, and we're going to use the pistol for this entire section. The key to getting a good time on this is getting a clean roll out of the window, which makes the roof guard alert you. The roof guard will begin to throw a grenade as soon as he sees you, and we can shoot him and make him drop the grenade on himself. Then we just take this guard stationary out on their own, and then with a little bit of patience, hopefully get the rest of the guards with the barrel. That was perfect. So, different things that can go wrong. If you roll out the window incorrectly, and it is a little bit janky, should we say, it's very easy to get caught on the window because Snake's so big in Metal Gear Solid 3. It won't break the window, it'll stop you going through. That means the guard on the roof will just move out of sight, and you have to do different things to be able to kill him. The other thing is, if you shoot the barrels too early, all the guards won't group up, and missing a single guard, if you miss the roof guard, or if you miss any of the Ocelot unit, you're going to lose like 8+ seconds on that section. And when you're going for a really competitive time, it's just a reset straight away. So there's a lot of different fail points in this run. You have to execute perfectly, and the strats that aren't necessarily found on any other difficulty as well. Major's going to do something a little bit different here. He's going to the right of this area. This was found recently and timed out by Apache originally, and then Major investigated it on the HD collection. So going right in this section is actually like 3 or 4 seconds faster than the normal route that people have gone for, 15 years or however long the game's been out. It's actually Metal Gear's birthday today. Um, how old is Metal Gear today?
33 years old.
33 years old. So Metal Gear was invented today, 33 years ago. That's pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
So in this section as well, like it's not quite obvious, but there's some claymores on the ground that we have to avoid. We don't really care about the damage that the claymores will do to us because we have so much health, but getting hit, you lose about 5 seconds for having to stand up again. So it is a really, really costly thing you want to avoid. The dogs can also knock you down as well. And guards are prone to knifing you, kicking you, that kind of thing. We do have to be aware of that. Those kind of things are much more costly in this category just because it's so competitive. And Major recently got both world records in this category, New Game and New Game Plus. So the second boss, Ocelot. Before we go into the Ocelot fight, we unequip our easy gun, and for some reason that allows us to immediately menu it in the fight. If we go into it with it equipped, it doesn't let us do that, and we're just going to instantly shoot him at the start of the fight and throw a stun grenade. Right here, we're going to purposely get body shots. So the second shot we put in, if you try and engage the auto aim by holding the aim down, and then a stun grenade goes off, it doesn't work. But if the stun grenade goes off and then you try to do it, you can auto aim through the flash. So you only need 2 body shots and 2 headshots to do that fight. But if you mess up your timings between hitting Ocelot, throwing the stun grenade, if you're not exactly right, he can do various different things. He can run off, he can stand behind rocks. The longer that fight goes on as well, Ocelot will start to do cutscenes. So you can lose a lot of time on that fight by not executing it perfectly, but that was really nice. So if you're wondering how tight the timing as well is, you just don't lose a second on that split. And like I didn't see him move wrong once, so it's very easy to lose time on. So we're in the cave now. If it's dark on the stream, we should be okay in a second. This section of the game is particularly dark. Normally we just like higher up the brightness on our monitors. Some of us have like nice monitors that just illuminate the cave anyway. But in the actual game, the idea is that over time, as you're feeling your way through this cave, it will become lighter and lighter, like your eyes automatically adjust to it. There is a boss skip in Metal Gear Solid 3. There's only one on the HD collection, and it is the pain skip. It's incredibly hard to do. There's 2 load zones that we're going to get past using the fake death pill. If you to get past the load zone using the fake death pill, you have to stand on exactly the right frame. Ignore me, he's not doing it. You can skip that boss. It is slower and very easy. Major's not doing it because it's slow, basically. You can skip that boss. I don't know why I thought you were going to go for it. It was just in my head, I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely going to do it. My bad. You can skip that boss though. So this area is incredibly laggy. This fight in general is really laggy. Major's keeping the FPS as high as possible by manipulating his camera to look at the floor wherever he can. That's something that, like, I'd say Major's playstyle is really good for. Major moves very risky. He'll do all the risky movement strats. He'll do anything to keep his FPS high as possible. So he plays in a very unique style compared to other people in this category. The platform is PlayStation 3. If you see on the splits at the top, there's some info. Another thing that's different on this category is that we don't pick up the box in Rasviet where we met Sokolov. The box is on top of some boxes that you have to climb up to. If you go without the box, if you forego the box for now, you can pick it up in the warehouse, so it will spawn twice. The pickup in the warehouse is just much more in the path you're going anyway, so it's a bit of a time save. We're not going to menu that until we pick up the Mosin Nagant sniper rifle as well, because the main time saver from using the box is traversing the mountains. So the box is used for climbing up hills in Metal Gear Solid 3, because when Snake walks up a hill, he'll begin to stutter, he'll walk slowly, but if you're wearing a box, you get the full speed run animation, even when you're going up hills. The box is also good for opening up doors, putting out fire, protecting you from fire. It's really useful. Have I missed anything?
No, that's it.
Alright. In this next section, we need to. This is the first time we'll get to see the end, the boss, the end, not the end of the game, and we'll need to do damage to him here. Otherwise, in order to save time later, we have to deal some damage to him here. So Major will just shoot a barrel that's off in the distance as the end is being pushed along. You see the end basically is in a wheelchair during this section, and you can actually kill him early with the SVD sniper rifle, but you have to go well out of the way to pick it up. It takes about 2.5 minutes to pick it up, and it's not going to save you any time overall. Major also, as he was swimming through there, he got caught on purpose, so the radio call would begin to go off. And then he just like reset the radio call by causing an alert. So yeah, the end. The other way to kill the end is by saving the game, turning your console off, and setting the date forward 2 weeks, I think it is. And the end will actually die of old age. We can't use that for single segment, the type of speedrun we're doing now. You can use it in multi-segment, and it is the fastest way to kill him. He essentially dies in no IGT time. So yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3 is timed by the IGT. We use the IGT screen that comes out at the end of the game to decide whose run was faster. It does count loads, so it's a bit of a nightmare. But something we found recently is the Sorrow boss. Nothing you do during that section, and I say we found, Major found it. Nothing you do during that section counts towards the in-game timer. So you can literally just walk to the end of the river in the world record speedrun. As long as the rest of your rooms were good, that time won't count. Because we're in a marathon, there is a faster way to beat the Sorrow fight, and that's by getting the handkerchief and knocking yourself out. When you fall into the water knocked out, it will immediately kill you. That'll become clearer later, but the handkerchief is in a locker in this lab, and it is a little bit awkward to pick up. You have to kind of go out the way to pick it up. And if you get an alert at any time during the lab, you have to reset the room because you can't progress with an alert. We don't use a disguise for the lab because we've got the easy gun. We're just going to take out the guards as we go through. Sometimes the auto aim can not cooperate with you, like so. So the auto aim is very finicky compared to other Metal Gears, like for MGS3 for example. You can auto aim by holding L1 and it will just lock on to the next person as quickly as possible. In MGS3 it's a little bit different. You have to hold down square while you're moving, and then as you turn, that can trick the auto aim and make it do different things, which will slow you down. It's a very annoying one. So we'll pick up the handkerchief from this locker, and that will become useful way later. So what Major's doing, just to make sure he doesn't refresh the alert, is standing far enough away from the guard that he doesn't see you. So that should be them all, and then the alert will instantly clear, hopefully.
Oh, never mind. Okay, it worked.
Yeah, it will.
Jesus,
So
I literally didn't think that was all of them.
Yeah, if you get all the guards in a room, there's like 2 alert stages, alert and evasion. While you're on alert and evasion, you can't progress past this room here. But if you take out every single guard in a room, it will just clear the alert and evasion very rapidly. So that's not a normal, the way he's doing this room at the moment isn't the normal way it's done. As I say, for IGT, we don't need to pick up the handkerchief. But for RTA, we do pick up the handkerchief, and because it's marathon, it looks really cool as well when we get to the Sorrow fight, and it's brand new, it's been found. It's another strat found by Major. So we're leaving the lab now. Leaving the lab, it doesn't matter if you get an alert now. We can go all the way to the Fears fight with an alert. And that's called a bump caution. It only works in very easy, but if a guard's facing the back of you and you've got the easy gun equipped, you can literally walk through him, and by the time he recovers from being bumped into, you'll be far enough away that he won't alert on you and you'll just get a caution. It's not particularly useful, but it is kind of interesting. So we got to go back on ourselves now, to the warehouse we came from, but we'll get to fight the Fear on the way. And the Fear on higher difficulties, you may have seen us use the rope trap. to kill him. We don't need to do that on lower difficulties. And we can get a setup on him, on the fear, that always makes him jump to the closest tree like a manipulation. As long as you hold the menu while you enter this fight, the fear will always jump to the nearest tree, which is handy. So as soon as the fight starts, we're going to use the fake death pill. What that does is it makes the fear jump down. He actually starts the fight above you. We need him to be on the ground. As soon as he starts walking towards us, we can revive. And then we'll drop a stun grenade on the floor. Major recently started doing this thing where he throws the stun grenade off to the left, which means you don't actually get flashed by it that much. And then we can just shoot him with the 1911. That does count as a non-lethal victory, even though we used a lethal gun. If the fear gets hit by a stun grenade, any damage that he's hit with while he's stunned counts as stamina damage. Warehouse 2, there was recently a little cheeky strat found for it. Essentially, you can grab onto rails that are above you if you manipulate it or set it up a certain way. So as Major's done there, you wouldn't normally be able to grab onto that ledge like that, but a strat finder, excellent speedrunner called Apache, was messing around with the emulator, and he found you could grab onto all sorts of rails that are above you. That's the main one that's useful that he's found. Saves a second or so. It's kind of awkward to set up because after you roll on top of the boxes, you have to set up your hands into a claw grip to be able to do all the inputs to do that. I don't know if you do that, Major. I definitely have to.
Yeah, I do. I hold square with my index finger and mash triangle with middle finger.
Fortunately, you get a roll before you go into it to change your hands into claw grip, and then change back after you're climbing back up. We're coming up to the end fight. The end is a very memorable boss. I feel like he's kind of synonymous for this game. There was a strat found. I'm gonna say Plywood found it. Yeah, Plywood found it. We can kill the end on the first screen, and this is extremely new in terms of MGS3 speedrunning. There's a very difficult way to do it. The execution for it's high. I'd say it's harder to kill the end on the first screen on very easy than it is to kill the end on European Extreme. And we both run both, so would you say that's fair?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's real high execution, and just the time loss for doing it wrong is kind of high as well. So we know where the end spawns. He always spawns in the same position. That goes for every difficulty as well. So we'll traverse over to his spot and we'll bait him to shoot us, and then we'll begin throwing stun grenades at him. You throw 3 stun grenades at him, and then switch to the easy gun. The easy gun's useful because it lets you zoom as well. And we'll score either a headshot or a body shot here. And then he'll go into the prone position, and we can avoid his shots by shifting our weight in the first person
That was a back
view.
shot.
Unlucky, he missed one shot there. You have to get
You can see
one
his
body
health.
and the rest heads, I think. So he's got the pixel of health.
That's the first time I've messed that up in weeks.
It's one of them. It only takes one misplaced shot to kind of mess up. But yeah, really high execution. I think it's one of the things that makes a race on this game really interesting as well. So your stuns have to be kind of perfect. You have to move after the third stun to recover from the flash that's covering your screen. And again, he's just going to shift his weight to be able to avoid the end. We have to wait for the end to shoot us and to reload his gun before we can deal damage to him. Otherwise, the cycle won't work correctly. But that was nice. Second try, dude. We've got a donation of $10 from Mecha Mike, and he says, MGS3, you'll love to see it. I agree. I do love to see it. Thank you for that, Mecha Mike. I think it's worth saying while we're at the glorious ladder, we are raising money for Doctors Without Borders, and if you would like to donate, there's a link just below the stream. I appreciate everyone donating. So this next boss, it's not the hardest boss in the game, but it is the tallest. It's the ladder. What strat are you using for this fight?
I like to go for the rare strat. I like to go ahead and call on the RNG gods to go ahead and get a sub 10-second ladder. That's my favorite.
How many times has that worked for you so far?
Well, let's just say it's a work in progress.
So we have tried to find a skip for the ladder, right? Like, we've definitely put some time into that recently. There is a zip from Metal Gear Solid 3, so there is a way to do it, but it can't be done during single segment. You have to load in a save first, and then do it. And unfortunately, so far, it doesn't go through walls and it doesn't go vertically, but it will zip you around the level. Maybe something in the future. Is skipping the ladder even allowed? Like, I imagine a lot of people would be annoyed if we did.
Actually, they would be. They really would be.
It's one of those like, well, what do you remember from MGS3? This, the end, the story, obviously, but
Like
very
removing a
iconic
bit of
ladder.
culture from the run.
Yeah. So you'll notice that, or you may or may not have noticed, at the start of the fear fight, the fear hits you with a poisonous arrow during the cutscene, which you're supposed to remove, otherwise it drains your health. We don't want to go into the pause menu, so we just leave that on, and that means that our stamina and health will drain. Once your stamina goes below half, your aim will shake. So when you're in the first person view, your aim will like shake all over the place. So we need to, in order to get this time save of not removing the poison and having this low stamina, we have to do the Fury fight while our aim is shaking. But it's worth it for the time save. Essentially, we'll just use the Mosin Nagant sniper rifle to kind of no-scope the end. Not the end, the Fury. It's just the kind of things that we'll do just to get those extra few seconds in this run. What can happen sometimes, and Major doesn't think it's real because it's never happened to him, but it has happened to me. As long as your stamina's above half for a long enough time, the poison will just automatically cure, so you don't have to go into the menu. It's like a miracle cure. It happens very, very rarely, and Major's yet to see it, so I'm not sure he believes in it, but trust me, it's real. This section is incredibly laggy, so Major's going to point his camera down as much as possible. Again, he's the only person that's kind of utilizing this at the moment, and we know that we've timed out these rooms. We know that reducing lag makes them faster. Another thing is he's going to roll. He's going to box bump the guard and then roll. It's much easier than trusting the auto aim during this section, because obviously if you get an alert here, you can't progress to the next section. So some of the guards, because you're on a hill, if you bump the guard and immediately roll, sometimes the roll just won't hit the guard at all. So that's why you sometimes see him taking a few steps first. You can pick up the RPG there. If you don't pick up the RPG during this section of the game, during the bike chase, the game will automatically give you the rocket because you have to have it to complete the game. But if you pick it up there, you can menu it earlier. So you just remove one full menu from the game, which is a little bit faster. So we're going to go up to the top of the mountain and meet Eva. This section can be skipped on PlayStation 2 by clipping through the wall and hitting the load zone to the south early. We've been trying to do that on the PlayStation 3, but unsuccessfully so far. Again, though, this game is very close to completely breaking. It's like we can sense it in the air, right? It's going to break soon. So if you got a good run up to this point of the game, you get a present, which is called the Fury. He's a run ender. He's a spaceman with a flamethrower. Because our health's so low at this point in the game, because we didn't remove the poison, getting hit by him once or twice will kill us, which is really costly. Also, as I mentioned before, the whole time we're trying to aim at him, our aim will shake. So you have to be really sure when you go for the shots on him. I'd say this is one of the harder points of the run to do fast. So what we'll try and do is, when the fight starts, you'll hear the Fury either go to the left or right of us, and we'll listen in our headphones for where he drops. Major will also use the 3D camera to look where he's gone. And then he's just going to quick reload, because the Mosin Nagant is a single shot rifle, but if you turn it off and on again with R2, it just immediately loads it for you. That was a really good Fury, dude. Really fast. You can't get faster than that, basically. So yeah, we're kind of manipulating the game to let us do multiple shots of the Mosin Nagant, where it should only do like one and then you very slowly reload it. An RPG here. So Major's equipping the rocket propelled grenade here. It's going to show us a relatively new strat found in the game. It's a good one. I'll let it speak for itself. That bit just before the Rykov room where you roll over the fence. It's really difficult to roll over. You have to get it right in the right place, otherwise you'll just roll against it.
What?
So he's done a shot there which has purposely missed Rykov. And now he's going to use the RPG.
Unfortunately, it missed.
Yeah, I saw that. That's unfortunate. But you can actually hit Rykov with the RPG, and his body will just go flying to where you actually need him to go, and then you'll fire another one to move him even closer. It's a really difficult shot to go to, and I'm impressed you did go for it. So now, because we're in alert, we can't progress through this area, so we have to take out these guards first. The fastest way to progress is just kill all the guards, or stun them, knock them out, that kind of thing. And then the alert will clear much faster. Because there'll still be like scientists running around the room, we will be trapped in evasion for a little bit. And when bodies are on top of each other like that, it's really hard to pick up the one we want. So you may notice Rykov, he does look like a character similar to a gentleman we saw in the game earlier. So he is kind of just based to look like Raiden, he's supposed to look like that. And now we've stolen his clothes. And we're going to dress up like him. Completely incognito. So this next part of the game is a big fat unskippable cutscene. I think it's 2 or so minutes. So this section of the game you wouldn't be able to progress without getting Rykov's costume first. You can go all the way to that door. This cutscene prevents you even from glitching through it, because if you hit the load zone, it will play this cutscene, and if you're not dressed as Rykov, the door won't open.
Tell me,
Stop it!
who have you been talking to?
He doesn't know what you're talking about.
You'd better start talking.
Please, stop this!
Who is Khrushchev's lapdog?
How can you do this to him?
I know you gave the data to someone.
Never do
You!
that.
I guess he's dead.
You can actually hold R2 and L2 during this section when Vulcan's hitting you, and it won't actually deal any damage to you. So it's one of the game ways of keeping like the amount of damage you've taken over the course of a run. So it's possible to finish with this run with like 0 damage bars taken.
I hope you prove more entertaining than he was. But first, let's take a look at your body, shall we? What a beautiful body you have.
Time Thief, I've got to be
Like a
honest, I've never
newborn
thought about that
baby.
at all. Until now.
But not for long. Well then, let's get started. What
I
is
think
your
Vulcan's
target?
scarier in English or Japanese.
I think his English voice acting is
Is
better.
it the Shagohod
But maybe that's just because I can understand it.
or Sokolov?
Maybe. It is like
Or
quite a
maybe it's
terrifying
the
part of the game.
legacy.
He's a
Answer me.
good antagonist.
helping you?
I think he's really good and appropriate.
Who let you in here? You're a tough one, but even you must have your limits.
So we don't get to see him here because we
I
have a
am
bag
a
over our head,
patient
and
man.
that's why the screen's dark while we're being tortured. During this section in the story, Big Boss actually loses an eye, gets shot out by a revolver. For the rest of the game, if you go into first-person view, that part of the screen will kind of like be darkened out to show that. On this difficulty, on anywhere up to like hard, you can just use the codec to get out of the cell. It's 144.75, and that will immediately just open the door. That codec is revealed to you in like the scene. If you throw food to Johnny multiple times, the sorrow will turn up in a cutscene and show you how to get out of there. It's the fastest way to get out. We want to just get out the cell as quickly as possible. We don't mind tanking the alert all the way to the sewers, because it doesn't stop us from progressing, so it really doesn't matter. There's a weird interaction here with the shield guard. Normally shield guards will bash you to the floor, but for some reason if you run straight at him, he will back off. On higher difficulties, there's 2 shield guards, and it doesn't work the same. You have to manipulate the camera and run on a very specific line, but you can avoid them as well. For a long time, we thought that like smoking the cigar here, taking as much damage as possible would be better, because when you get to the Sorrow fight, you still have the same amount of health, and you want to die as quickly as possible in order to get through it faster. But that's not actually the case, because as I mentioned earlier, none of the time during the Sorrow actually counts towards the in-game time at the end. So even if you walk all the way to the end, pick up the camouflage you get for doing it, it makes no difference to your in-game timer, which is what we use for runs. Major's going to do a strat that's actually faster for RTA. We wouldn't normally do this in a run, but it does look really cool. Before we knew that it didn't affect the IGT, I was saying to him, we really need a way to make this room faster. It's so slow and very easy because we have so much health. So he actually came up with this handkerchief strat for that. I do really like it, and it's still good for races as well. So I'm glad we get to keep it in the game, even if we're not going to use it on every run. I think this sewers is a really good area to show you how good you can get with Snake's movement in this game and how clunky it can be if you do it wrong. Snake is just really large, like his model is just really big, and his hitbox is also massive. If you roll into guards, you can not even touch them and still knock them down. So yeah, enjoy this one, it's pretty cool. I think something that's not widely known is that you still have all the items during this dream sequence, even though you don't have them during the escape. So the handkerchief, if you wave it 3 times in front of you, it will knock Snake out. If you go into the water while knocked out, it will just immediately kill you. So again, that's the fastest way to do that room, RTA. So on very easy, Ocelot plants a tracker in us, which you can actually see in the cure screen and remove it, and then you don't get an Ocelot unit here. Because we don't want to waste time going into the menu, we won't remove it. That what you just did is called log roll. It's 2-second time save. If you miss the log or you fall off at any point, you lose about 20 seconds because you have to swim all the way around. So it's really, really dangerous that. The other part is because we still have the Ocelot unit, one of them has a shotgun, and there's kind of like an RNG element where if you get hit by the shotgun, you get knocked down. But he's managed to avoid that.
Colonel, we've managed to avoid the shotgun.
I don't think either of us have been hit by the shotgun in a while, right? It's like, it seems like if you have just good movement, it's fine.
Yeah, definitely. There's a certain line you can take to minimize the risk, but it's always possible. He can miss you by like an inch, even if you take the right line.
Yeah, and he can get you twice as well if you move particularly badly, which leaves about 10 seconds. So, nightmare. This is the longest load screen in the game. It's about 20 seconds. So we met up with Eva. We've got all our equipment back. We're going to do like one more menu now. Once we've picked up the box at the end of this corridor, and that will give us what we need for the rest of the game. So that box, if you don't pick it up and leave this area, your run's dead, you'll lose in about 2 minutes. That box will automatically take us into the weapons lab. No, not the weapons lab. That would be awkward if it took us there. Into the room where the Shago HUD is, the hangar. When we go up the ladder as well, the game will re-equip the pistol for us. We don't want the pistol in our inventory, so we always do the menu after that's happened. The hangar is another room that's actually harder on very easy than any other difficulty. It's not much harder, it's like slightly harder. There's a manipulation on higher difficulties where you can just shoot the wall with a lethal gun and all the guards will run off. On very easy you can't do that because they don't hear it basically. So we have one more guard in this route that we have to deal with. So it is like slightly slower on this difficulty, but it makes up for it with the rest of the rooms. So we've got some explosives, we've just got to plant them on each one of these tanks now. While we're in the box, like non-lethal enemies like the mechanics and the scientists, they won't alert when they see a box, like you can just stand in front of them in a box forever. But guards will, so we just use the box there to stop that mechanic from seeing us. Here there's a guard that's kind of in the way, so we just roll through him. As I say though, he's not there on higher difficulties because we do this room in a caution. We've got all the bombs now, we're going to fight Volgin for the first time. We're going to battle with him kind of multiple times throughout this endgame. So we didn't pick up the SVD earlier in the game, the SVD sniper rifle, but the game automatically gives it to you after you've met people. This gun is so much better for dealing damage to Volgin than anything else. It just chunks his health, so we can just throw him to the floor and hit him. Here we can just wait for him to do his blast and then put him on rounds. And the strategy doesn't change that much as you go up the difficulties. It's the same loop, you just have to shoot him with more bullets. So if you wanted to learn this run, if you start on this difficulty, you get a really good feel for how all the bosses work in the game, and you can apply that knowledge as you move through the difficulties. So as I said at the start of the run, the game tries to stay at 60 FPS and fails often. Looking at the sky during this section of the game saves about 20 seconds overall. Major actually made a comparison, so he played it through with the 3D camera, with the normal camera looking towards the sky, and timed every single one. Found that looking at the sky saves you a lot of time. So we don't need to hit any of the enemies for this first section of the bank chase, and we don't need to deal damage to the Shagohod. You can actually take chip damage off the Shagohod by firing off an RPG at it, but we can do all that in, there's like a section of the runway later where we can deal, you can only take a third off it max, and we can do all that in one section. The RPG is like very laggy to fire, so we don't use it, or we use it as little as possible. The game will interrupt us if the Shagohod's like crashing through the level and stuff. As I say, this first room, you don't need to hit any of the guards. In the next room, it won't actually let us progress until we take out the guards, and you can save like a full cycle of guards by taking them out quickly. So we will use the sniper in the next room. There's a leech that we get attached to us earlier in the run. On other difficulties, you have to remove it immediately because it will drain your stamina. You'll see underneath Snake's health bar, his stamina is going down. If it goes below half, our aim will shake and it's like a really bad stage of the run. So we'll need to re-equip the easy gun after we've taken out the guards in this next room. So just managing your stamina is quite important. It's just going to be a bit of a rocket massacre on these guards now. The spawns are static, they always come out the same places. And again, that's the same on all the difficulties. As you move up the difficulties, some of them will spawn with rocket launchers, and you have to prioritize those guards because it's not just like bad for the health damage, but getting hit by an enemy RPG puts the game down to about 5 frames and takes like 15 seconds to recover from. Now we've got all the mandatory guards, we can just re-equip the easy gun. That'll prevent our stamina from draining any further. For sure, some of the best music in the game here. For some reason, it puts it at like 500% volume without warning. Just as soon as you start the bank case, just BAM! All the sound. So yeah, looking down or looking up on a runway to reduce lag might remind you of another speed game that's quite popular. This is Major's Runway 22. This is like classic Kojima. He loves to throw something in there to pad out the game a bit. This is definitely one of them. Bike Chase is definitely one of them. Yeah, I am sorry we found this.
Same.
We think that like peak MGS3 very easy is you'll look down for the whole game and you'll just use the 3D camera and stare at the floor. And like we kind of know that that's going to be the way to get the best time. But neither of us want to do it to the run. So I don't know. We're just short of a 110 by 20 seconds. So it may be possible without that, but if looking down the whole run can make it a bit more guaranteed, then we'll probably be doing that soon. So this is the section of the runway where you deal damage to the Shadowhand. And as I say, it's got a damage cap, which is 1/3 of its health. We don't actually need to hit the damage cap, because during the actual fight, it does one rocket that does water health when it hits the back. So you'll have to hit it 3 times no matter what. So you need to do somewhere between a quarter and a third damage. It's very easy to do during this section. You're not in danger of taking any damage. And on any difficulty, because you can quick reload the RPG and hit multiple times like this, you never kind of in danger of taking damage during this section. Now Major will just hit it and then look up. As long as you hit it, it will stop it from doing whatever attack it's going to do. So rather than hitting it constantly, because it can't deal any more damage, he'll just hit it occasionally. And this is why it's put the SVD back into your inventory, because you have to have it for this section. So the game will give you the SVD even though we never picked it up. But you can actually pick it up early, as I say, to kill the end with early.
Keep your aim steady.
It's just really out of the way.
Keep your aim steady.
If you shoot the C3 bomb too early, you'll just get a game over screen.
Keep your aim steady.
There's a visual cue when to hit it, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And there's a huge window to hit it in as well. Okay, so we're going to attempt to get a one-cycle Shadowhand. There is a setup for it. We'll shoot at the tread as soon as kind of like our aim connects with the dot in the middle. And then as soon as we've hit the back, we'll shoot the tread again. Freeze the Shadowhand in place. So Major's got it. He's completely frozen the Shadowhand in place. There is essentially it's an infinite, but we don't have to hit him that many times on very easy. But as you go up the difficulties, you can completely immobile the play like that. It makes it way faster to do this boss. And again, as long as you shoot the RPG in phase 2 at the right time, it will stun the Shadowhand exactly where we need it, so we can deal 1 body shot and then hit the tread again and deal 1 headshot. And now genuinely we are going to look at the sky for 3 screens.
No, only 2 screens. I'm going to look down in one of them.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, yeah. During the bag chase, there's a section with platforms. There's like floating platforms. The platforms have lights on the front of them, and if you look at them, it will lag the game. So instead of looking up, during that section, we have to look down.
How much time do you think that saves?
Just the platform screen. Load 8 seconds.
6 frames.
Wow. I was thinking if you're looking at the lights, it'd be like really laggy, because it can park above you, right? Like.
Yeah, that's bad. If he parks above you and lights you on fire, then you're saving like 10 seconds.
Yeah, we're talking 6 frames here, people. But that's where we're at with this run. Like that matters. So it's part of the reason I really like the difficulties in MGS3, just because all the boss strats just scale rather than change. So apart from like the end, which is obviously different on very easy, you'll learn how to play the game better no matter what category you tackle, and it all scales into the higher difficulties as well. Are you ready for this one? Oh, guy's looking down. So we can just let our stamina like drain here as well, because we'll have enough time to actually play up. He missed the end leap and had to reset the room, so it happens. It's very precise. favorite bottom character for sure. Maybe the Sorrow, not here. So a big goal for me when I started playing this was to be able to kill the boss, or finish the boss fight in under an hour. I've got 59, and Mage got like 58 30 as well, so I'm wondering how low that can go.
I think my new game PB is a 5809. I'm sorry, 5909. My bad. I didn't mean to say 58. So we can get it pretty low.
Yeah, so Eva tells us that there's a block coming out, and he's got to shoot it out. We don't need to do that, so we just drive through it, which tells us which sting. Kind of harsh. Last one, I promise, guys. This section is kind of just like free in every difficulty. It's just kind of particularly free and very easy. It only becomes a bit of a challenge if you're going for a non-lethal Euro run. You are at risk of dying, especially to those platform guards. They have like some of the highest DPS on Snake, some of the highest damage in the game. You're also at risk when you take them out that platforms can crash into you and set you on fire. Fire deals like tons of damage as well. But a little tip, if you ever find yourself on fire in Metal Gear Solid 3, you can just change your clothes. If you change the camouflage, it'll put the fire out. Another thing you can do to kind of reduce the amount of damage you take, the game will only let 4 bike guards spawn in at once. So if you shoot the gunner that's on each bike and leave the driver, they don't deal as much damage and no new ones can spawn in. That's it, the bike chase. That was pretty exact, man. During a cutscene here, Eva gets injured, and we're forced to go into the cure menu. During the cure menu, we can actually feed her. We will have to feed her at some point because her stamina drops low, but if we do it now, it saves us opening the menu again later, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it actually
Let me
saves
have
like
some
8
more.
seconds, and it's the same on every single difficulty. So it's a really good one. Shout out Raichu for that one. On this first screen with Eva, we can just leave her. You're meant to just tell her to follow you through to each load zone, but for some reason, if you just ditch her on this first load zone, it brings her right to you on the next screen. That doesn't work for the rest of the run, it's just that one. And there's a really high level strat in this room where we get her to go left of the tree. She really wants to walk to the right of the tree. If she walks to the right of the tree, the run's dead. So this is the high level stuff, people. Sorry, yeah, the run's over.
I'll just go ahead and reset now. Try again.
Yeah, I would start again. No, I mean, it saves a few frames, but it's just kind of funny how like hard it is to make it go to the left of that tree. Like, it's actually a nightmare. I've talked about that room way more than I ever should have in my life, but I don't know. It's amusing to me. all these rooms, you like always have a caution as well. Caution makes guards act kind of weird to how they would normally. But we should be okay. We'll pretty much just take them out as we're walking along. The biggest thing here is to keep Eva moving. If she gets too close to you, she'll stop. We're coming up on the final boss of the game, the boss. On other difficulties, we would use the Mosin gun for this boss, but you can actually use the easy gun on VE, and it works exactly the same. So it takes the same amount of time, you do the exact same amount of shots, but you don't have to menu to the Mosin gun, so it's slightly faster. The other thing is we have to hit her in the head. Every time we counter her, we have to hit her in the head. And it's harder to hit her in the head with the Mosin because it doesn't have like a dot sight like the easy gun does. Snow, we know you don't need to take the guys out, but as long as Eva doesn't stop moving, it doesn't matter. You can do what you want. Like, we're bottlenecked by Eva, right? So.
I'm so hungry.
So yeah, this strat it's difficult when you're first learning it. Once you pick it up, it just gets easier and easier with time. It looks pretty cool as well. It's one of my favorite looking fights.
Let's see what you're made of.
What Major will do as well, he will purposely not get the immediate counter. He'll wait for like the secondary counter, which is the animation is a little bit faster. We have to wait a certain amount of time before we shoot her in the head again. If we shoot her too quickly, it'll just knock her straight over, and we'll lose the ability to loop her. So you have to be really patient. That's it, we've done her. GG, dude. That was a nice boss kill.
It was a gold. I'm okay with that. It was a gold even with the run resetting error of her going right of the tree.
So we've got a little unskippable cutscene here before we have the final portion of the run, which is a duel to the death with Ocelot. We're actually from a community of nerds who like playing Metal Gear fast. If you go on metalgearspeedrunners.com, if you can join the Discord, we run all the games from Metal Gear to Survive. If you do join, make sure you say happy birthday to Metal Gear 33 today.
Jack. Or should I say, Snake. You're a wonderful man. Kill me. Kill me now. Do it.
Sub-hour boss, too. Even with all the mistakes.
Clean. It's one of those, like, the mistakes are just unbelievably costly in this category.
There's only room for one boss.
Like, you're always resetting a room. Generally, the place where you can make mistakes, you're resetting the whole room, which is gonna lose you a lot of time. Got to say farewell to the boss. And now we have just this final fight with Ocelot in the wig. We picked the left revolver because that's the one with the bullet in it, which means we can shoot it faster. Ocelot takes a long time to fire the gun. And that's time. GG, Major.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks for having me here.
It was
Do
a
you
pleasure.
like watching these games? Major Zero streams this quite a lot. You can follow him on Twitch, twitch.tv. I want to say it's Major Zero.
Major _ 0.
Let's go. He's in the chat there. Please give him a follow. He is a really good streamer.
Son, you've got a way to fall. They'll tell you where to go, but they won't know. Son, you'd better take it all. They'll tell you what they know, but they won't show. Oh, I've got something in my throat. I need to be alone while I suffer. Son, you've got a way to kill. They're picking on you still, but they don't know. Son, you'd better wait to shine. They'll tell you what is yours, but they take mine. Oh, I've got something in my throat. I need to be alone while I suffer. Oh, there's a hole inside my bone. I need to stay afloat for the summer, Lord. I've got something in my throat. I need to be alone while I suffer. Oh, there's a hole inside my bone. I need to stay afloat for the summer. Son, you better wait to fall. They'll tell you where to go, but they won't know.
Yes, Grozny Grad and the Granin Research Facility have both been wiped out without a trace. I understand, sir, but they were necessary sacrifices. Yes, the CIA has taken care of the boss themselves. I believe the White House will be satisfied. Khrushchev is finished. Your time has finally arrived. Yes, the American president is relying on us to keep a lid on the whole affair. We've got him by the balls. It should make a valuable trump card in future negotiations. Yes, Chief Director, of course. I'll keep the KGB informed. Yes, it's me. The boss has accomplished her mission. The philosopher's legacy is now safely with us, in America's hands. With this money, yes, the philosophers can finally be revived. The film we handed the Chinese was a fake. Peking must be in an uproar right about now. I'm afraid so. Only half the money has made it back to the United States. The KGB must still have part of the legacy. Yes, the weapon has been reduced to ashes. That's right. Grozny Grad has been obliterated by the Davy Crockett we brought in as well. Yes, that was the boss's work too. Speaking of which, I've obtained something from Granin that you might find interesting. It's a revolutionary new nuclear attack system. Perhaps it might just come in handy someday. Yes, we have Snake to thank for that. Khrushchev believed it as well. Yes, they bought our story. I don't think they'll be making a fuss. The secondary alert has been lifted as well. And the Soviets still haven't discovered my true identity. They have no idea that I've been triple-crossing them. I will continue my activities as a contact for the new government. Yes, it appears that no one knew that I was Adam. Of course, I'm always at the CIA's disposal, Mr. Director.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Metal Gear Solid 3 on Very Easy. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoy the RE6 run coming up ahead. Hope you all enjoy the marathon, and catch you all later. Apache, any final words?
I love MGS3. Play MGS3.
Play MGS3, and if you want to learn any of the speedruns from Metal Gear Solid, just check out MetalGearSpeedrunners.com. We'll teach you anything you want to know. We have a wiki dedicated to it and a Discord. We're all helpful. Thank you all for having me, and goodbye. Good night.
Goodbye.